The film starts with the same opening scene of The Conjuring, in which two young women and a man are telling Edward and Lorraine Warren about their experiences with the doll that they believe to be haunted by a spirit of a girl known as Annabelle. 1 year earlier in 1970, John and Mia Gordon are expecting their first child. At church, they meet their neighbors, the Higgins. The Higgins gave them lift to their home. Then the couple talks to them over their baby names. John is obviously nervous and not completely ready for it, even commenting on that to Mia. She is upset by his attitude toward the pregnancy, but he apologizes to her and gives her a doll that she's been trying to find for ages. Mia loves it and puts it with the rest of her dolls. At night, there appears to be a murder happening in the house next door at the Higgins home. It wakes Mia up. She tells John, and he goes over to investigate. He runs out of the neighbor's house, covered in blood, telling Mia to call 911. She does and is about to head back outside when she hears a voice telling her it likes her dolls. Mia stands back, frightened when she hears it, and a man covered in blood appears from behind her in the closet, stabbing her in the side. John runs in and fights the man, while the woman also tries to attack the couple. Police arrive and shoot the man dead, while the woman kills herself in another room. She left a bloody symbol drawn on the wall while holding Mia's new doll. A drop of her blood falls on the doll's face and sinks into its eye. A news report has shown that the assailants were Annabelle Higgins and her boyfriend. They murdered her parents and are said to have been part of a demonic cult. Annabelle ran away from her parents' Higgins home long years back. The doctors say that Mia's baby is fine, but there was damage to her cervix. She is ordered to stay bedridden for the remainder of her pregnancy. John takes care of Mia as she recovers. Thinking the doll is creepy and involved with the mysterious happenings, Mia asks John to throw it away. He dumps it in a bin outside. Later, John is about to make Mia some Jiffy Pop popcorn until she falls asleep. The next day, when John has been for his work, Mia is sewing and watching TV. While in the kitchen, the stove turns on by itself and heats up the Jiffy Pop. Mia cuts her finger on the sewing machine and tends to it, while she is not aware when the Jiffy Pop catches fire. Then, after a couple of moments later, she smells the smoke and sees the fire. She tries to run out of the house, but is dragged by an unseen force, and she falls on her stomach. A group of men run into the house and pull her out. John, who is a doctor on the same hospital, and runs to find Mia. She is unharmed, and she gave birth to a healthy baby girl. They decide to name her Leah. The family moves into a new apartment, since Mia is afraid to return home. In their new place, Mia unpacks her dolls and finds the doll that she asked to John to throw away. John sees and tells her that, "How did you get that?" and asks her to give him to throw it away. But Mia refuses and just places it alongside the other dolls. As expected, more strange activity plagues Mia and her new baby. Mia meets two neighbor children that are coloring on the stairwell. The girl tries to introduce herself, but her brother tells her not to say anything to Mia since she's a stranger. When Mia returns home, she sees the drawings from the kids, which show a continuous animation of Mia wheeling Leah in the carriage and letting it go in the path of a truck where Leah is dead. Horrified, Mia shows the pictures to John and tells him that we should talk to their parents. On another occasion, Mia is alone and thinks she sees the ghost of a young girl. The door closes, and the girl starts to run to the door, then turning into the adult Annabelle Higgins as she disappears. Mia explains all the things to John. John refuses to believe her and tells her that we should see a shrink. Next day, when Mia was home alone, she has been taking some things to the storeroom. While she was up in the storeroom, she hears baby wailing aloud. Then she notices what look alike her daughter carriage with a bloodied cloth. When she tried to check it, a hand grabs her, but she manages to flee to the lift. Then we see the same mark on her hand, which we had seen before. She tries to get down from the floor, but whenever the lift opens, it remains on the same floor. She, however, tried to get up from the stairs and notices the demon itself. Next morning, when C checks for the mark on her forearm, it was vanished completely, which tends her to contact the detective that told them earlier about the murders Annabelle and her boyfriend committed. He informs her of their history in the cult called the Disciples of the Ram that seeks to summon a demon by claiming a soul. This also explains the symbol that Mia keeps seeing. Mia goes to a bookstore run by a woman named Evelyn. Mia was confused to tell her that what she is searching for, since Evelyn could also think her mad. But she comforts Mia that she knew what she is going through, and she believes it. Evelyn tells Mia that she had a daughter named Ruby that was around Mia's age when she died. Ruby died in a car accident caused by Evelyn. She was so distraught and guilt-ridden that she attempted suicide by cutting her wrists. However, she claims to have heard Ruby's voice telling her that it wasn't her time. She gets her a book called The Devil's Welcome. From that, Mia determines that the presence that is haunting her wants an innocent soul. While returning to home, Mia again notices the shadow of little girl ghost while her daughter's carriage moves below the truck. But thankfully, Mia was holding her baby. In the apartment, the demonic presence locks Mia outside the Leia's room, where the baby sits beneath the bookshelf. The doll falls down and stares at Mia. Mia breaks the doorknob and runs in to grab Leah. Then, the doll appears to stand up on its own. It then seems to float in midair, but it's really being controlled by the demon. John hears the scream and runs to them. The couple contacts their church's priest, Father Perez. For your note, this is the same Father Perez that we have seen in the Curse of La Llorona. He tells them he doesn't know how they can get rid of it, but some people in the church may know. He was talking about the Warrens. Then, he takes Annabelle with him to church. The ghost of Annabelle is nearby when Father Perez tries to enter the church, but is blown back by a powerful force and is thrown on his back. He is hurt badly, and the ghost snatches the doll. While John was on his work, he notices some nuns standing. When he asks them, he finds out Father Perez has been admitted in the hospital. John sits near Perez, as to look after, and Evelyn joins Mia at her apartment. Few moments later, Perez comes to his consciousness and warns John that it was indeed Annabelle's spirit that caused his injuries, and that she will take a soul that night. John rushes to warn Mia. In the apartment, the demonic presence haunts Mia and Evelyn. It pushes Evelyn out of the apartment and taunts Mia. All around the room, her soul is written in red crayon. Mia grabs the doll and bashes it against Leah's crib and throws it on the floor. The doll then appears to turn into Leah, bloodied and dead. Mia runs over to her and cries, thinking she's killed her baby. It then turns into one of Mia's giggling dolls. She screams and asks what the demon wants instead. On the window reads, "Your soul," and the window opens. John runs home as Evelyn is trying to open the door. They both break it open to find Mia ready to jump out the window with Annabelle doll in her hands. John pulls Mia back in before she jumps, saying there must be another way. Evelyn grabs Annabelle and decides to make the sacrifice, knowing this is the way she can atone for Ruby's death. She plunges out of the window and hits the pavement. Leah is then heard in her crib, safe and sound. John and Mia mourn Evelyn, but embrace their daughter. 6 months later, the Gordons have moved on and have not seen Annabelle since then. Elsewhere, a woman comes into a store looking for a present for her daughter, whom we have seen at the beginning. She then spots a doll that is said to be a rare collector's item. That's when she purchases Annabelle. The ending text says that the Annabelle doll resides in a case in Edward and Lorraine Warren's little museum, and that it's blessed by a priest twice a month.